Thanks to the internet these days, everybody all thinks that they're an expert, and they're always saying, oh, these new high quality oils, you can go further with your oil. You can go 15,000 miles with your oil and all this shit. No, that is not true at all. Quit saying that, you guys are idiots. Oh, I did it once, I didn't have a problem. Yeah, no shit, you didn't have a problem doing it once. You do it once, you're not going to have a problem. You do it repeatedly, you're going to have a problem. As is the case with me. This truck, the guy, he went right by the dealer, dealer slash, Toyota's recommendations. He did 6,000 mile oil change intervals at the dealership. So they were doing, fancy Toyota full synthetic, Toyota oil filters, every 6,000 miles, which, is kind of good for me because he was taking it to the dealer and going right by the book. The, U-joints were always packed full of grease. The differential is like brand new gear oil in it. Transfer case has like brand new gear oil in it. And the transmission has like brand new ATF in it. Like I checked the fluid on all of that, and it's like brand new, clean as can be. And I checked the U-joints, and yeah, they've been packed full, because I put about like 6,000, 7,000 miles on it before I greased the U-joints. Then when he took a few squirts and they're coming out, So all of that is good, but yeah, he was doing 6,000 mile oil change intervals, which a lot of people are going to argue. They're going to be like, oh, but he had full synthetic. He can do that. No, I have been changing the oil in this thing at like 2,500 to 2,800 miles because he was changing at 6,000. And I'm doing high quality oil. I'm doing AMSOIL Signature Series 100% full synthetic. And the OEM Toyota filters, because, you can get them cheaper than hell at Walmart. So it's like, why not, And, yeah, I've been having problems because every time I change my oil, it's just filthy, So I've been doing before every change, I'll check it, when it's at like 2,200, 2,300 miles. I'll check it, look at the color, and decide if I want to put in Harvest King just yet or not. And if I reckon it's needed, I'll put a half can of Harvest King in it, work it through for like 300 miles real good, then change it when it's hot. And it always comes out super dirty. And this time, I just changed the oil here, and this time it really did it. I pulled the oil filter off. Well, because what had happened is I changed it at 2,700 miles this time, so I was early again, 300 miles early. I always usually do 3,000 mile oil change intervals, which is what I recommend for most drivers. If you're doing extra long highway driving, like you're doing like 60 miles one direction every day for work, you could probably get away with like 4,500, 5,000 mile oil changes, I would say, if you're doing really long miles, especially if you're in a warmer climate, But I'm in stupid ass Minnesota, so got cold winters, all that gas gets in your oil. Plus, I only drive about like 10 and a half miles to work and then 10 and a half miles back, so 21 miles a day round trip. I do some highway miles here and there, towing the boat or whatever else, but still, I'm doing shorter drives, a little bit shorter drives. Actually, 21 miles a day really isn't bad. That's really not bad, Some people only do like 8 miles a day, but, yeah, I've been changing at like 2,500 to 2,800 miles, and I changed at 2,700 miles this time, and I had 300 and some, like 340 or 350 miles of a half can of Harvest King in there. And the reason why it was extra dirty this time is because I was pulling my super heavy boat, my IO. I went camping last weekend for 4th of July, and so the oil with that Harvest King, it got a good workout. So when I changed the oil, I pulled that oil filter off, and only a small amount of oil spilled out, which that means that the oil filter was just about to bypass. It was that close, that close to bypassing, because there's just a little bit of oil in there. And yeah, I drained that oil out of there. Drain it when it's hot. That's always the best, way to do it, obviously, because you're going to get the most amount of sludge out. Drained it when it was hot, and yeah, that oil was nasty. That was so nasty. And that's 2,700 miles, and that's because the guy was changing at 6,000 miles, This engine's got a lot of gunk in it. So I'm going to have to keep doing that. Going to have to keep putting that Harvest King in there and changing it early, and hopefully someday I'll get pretty much all that gunk out. And actually, this is this truck is a perfect cue of another reason why you should do early change intervals, because when I first got this truck, when I would first start it, it would have a clack, 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 clack. You could hear the rollers clack, 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 clack for a short bit there, and then they would quiet up because the oil would get up there. But now, since I've been working that gunk out, the oil pressure, it doesn't have an oil barometer with the gauges, just, temp sensor, thermostat and frickin' tachometer and gas gauge, So, I don't know the oil pressure, but I know the oil pressure is up since I've gotten it, because it used to clack when I would first start it in the morning going to work. Now it doesn't. I'll start it and it's quiet, and that's because the oil pressure is up, so it's getting up to the rollers immediately, so they're not going clack, 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 So yeah, this truck right here is proof that you need to change your oil. If you're the everyday man, you need to change your oil every 3,000 miles, because yeah, I'm doing good oil, 5W30, AMSOIL Signature Series, 100% synthetic, 6 quarts. It calls for 5.5. Why would you measure out a half quart? Just do 6. An extra half quart isn't going to hurt. You got enough clearance there, you'd be just fine, You can go a half quart over. But, just Toyota OEM oil filters, because they're cheaper than hell at Walmart, so why not? What else? But yeah, no. And yeah, I've seen other stuff like that. Like this one lady, I was push mowing her lawn, and she just bought a new property because she used to have like 40 acres in the middle of nowhere, way out in the middle of nowhere. And then her husband died, and she kind of didn't like it there anymore. It was kind of too lonely and too many memories of him. So she had to move. Got a new place, 4 acres, much smaller property, right on the lake, And so she needed different landscape. She needed a smaller mower. So her son gave her his old push mower, and he was not good about changing the oil. He used to run the hell out of it because he used to live in town, so he had a small lawn, so he would always just push mow. And then he moved out to a lake, got a lakefront property, and he got a riding mower. So the push mower sat for years. And so then when he heard she wanted a push mower, he's like, here you go, here's my push mower. And he told her, he's like, I put new oil in it. And before I started push mowing for her, I looked at the oil. I was like, this oil is disgusting. And she insisted. She's like, no, he said he put new oil in it. I was like, I know, maybe he did, but this oil is disgusting. And the reason it was disgusting is because, he always neglected it. So as soon as he put fresh oil in there, all that gunk just gunked up the oil immediately. So I mowed about half the lawn with that brand new nasty oil in there. Then I sucked it out hot and got the pneumatic pump in there and sucked that oil out hot and put in fresh oil. Finished mowing. Came back a few weeks later, mowed about half her lawn, and I was really tired that day for some reason, so I actually ended up taking a nap, and I was like, I'll mow the rest tomorrow, you know. So woke up the next day, went out there, started mowing, was going along, mowing for like, I don't know, maybe 7 minutes. All of a sudden, boom, the frickin' piston exploded. And this push mower was an old Paulin with the Briggs & Stratton flathead. You know, the old Briggs & Stratton flatheads. Those engines do not fail. They are not known for failing. Reason this one failed is because he had neglected the oil to the point where the piston had been getting heated. So the piston was actually brittle. So when I put that fresh oil in there, it softened it up. Well, what happens when you soften up a brittle piston? It's gonna burst. So yeah, I actually kind of broke it by changing the oil, ironically, you know, because it had been so neglected, you know. Yeah, totally just exploded the piston in there. So yeah, it's just change your oil, people, you know. Because I mean, like, you know, you got your little trip meter here. Don't go by what the thing says, you know. You got your little trip meter. Use that first one for gas. Use that one for your oil. You start seeing, you know, a new car, you start seeing like 2,300, 2,200 miles on your oil. Check it. Look at the color. If it looks kind of dirty, put a half can of Harvest King in there. Get about 300 miles on that and then change it, you know. But yeah, if it doesn't look bad, you can go a little longer. And like I said earlier, if you're doing a lot of really long highway miles, that's all you do is long highway trips, then don't worry about it. You can go a little longer with your oil. But yeah, you know, keep up on your oil. Facts don't lie. My truck proves it, you know. Since I've started getting that gunk worked out, frickin' the rollers are a lot quieter. And, you know, yeah, you know, 6,000 mile changes. A lot of guys are like, oh, you can go like 15,000, or I've even heard some guys say 20,000. It's like, well, this guy was doing 6,000 with this truck with really fancy, you know, Toyota brand, full synthetic oil, because he was doing it at the dealer, you know, and good oil filters. And yeah, he was having those problems. I mean, I'm now having those problems because he did that. Because he did that, there's so much sludge built up in there that, yeah. So, yeah, you know, quit arguing. These stupid people, like I said earlier, you know, like, oh, I did it once. I put that brand new, what is it called? It's a Mobil 1 annual protection, they call it. Like, I did that. I did a 20,000 mile oil change interval. I didn't have a problem. So, like, you guys are, like, fucking stupid. You can all change your oil at 20,000 miles. It's like, you did that once. You did that once. Try doing that 5 times in a row. Then kind of listen to your engine a little bit. Oh, are the clackers kind of clacking? Is your oil coming out a little freaking nasty? Take off your cap and kind of try to look in there if you can. Does it look a little gunky? No shit. It's not about the quality of the oil. It's about the emissions. You know, especially if you live in a cold state, you know that when you're starting up in dead of winter, I mean, this is Minnesota. It's not too often. I mean, it's not often, but it happens where you got to go to work and it's 40 below. So you got to fire it up and let it run for at least 8 minutes, and then you got to take it real easy, you know. And so when it's warming up, you know, you're getting a lot of gas into your oil. What do you think that does to your oil? All that gas in your oil, it's turning it acidic. What do you think acidic oil does to bearings? It eats them. That's why, especially in the wintertime, you need to be very stout about your oil. You need to pull that dipstick out and smell it. If it's starting to smell like two-stroke, like gas and oil, you might want to change it. Because, yeah, just quit acting like you're an expert. If you really don't know, you don't know, okay? It's like, no, I have always done 3,000-mile oil change intervals with all my vehicles. Never had a problem. This one is having, not really, it's really, actually, it's improving. It's getting better. Every time I change the oil, I'm getting more and more gunk out, so it's actually getting better. So it's actually not technically a problem. But still, how dirty my oil is coming out. It shouldn't be coming out that dirty. I am very easy on my machines, and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's because the guy was doing 6,000-mile oil change intervals. I'm going to wrap this up, just change your oil early, people.